Well, good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don with you in Dr. Don's weather page. It is Thursday, April 23rd, 2020. Coming up on 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern, as we are watching some pretty heavy weather move across Alabama, and eventually will be moving across Georgia as well. Nothing severe for our primary coverage area this morning, but that may change this afternoon. So over the next few minutes or so, we're going to show you where the weather is now and where it is going to go and what we think may happen by this afternoon. Thanks to all of you joining the room this morning. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, April. Nice to see you in there, Miss Glenda in Wedowee. Miss Latricia's in there this morning. We appreciate all you fine folks joining us so early on this Thursday morning. Good morning, John. Matt, nice to have you in there. I hope the newborn is watching this morning. Mike is in there with us. Hello, Kayla. Nice to have you in there. And Tana, thank you for joining us as well this morning. Thanks, Terry. Nice to have you in there as well. All right, so let's do this. Let's go to, well, first of all, let me tell you about these fine folks right here right quick, because without them, we couldn't do this. Lenny Bo's Seafood, Wings, and More in Lineville, Alabama, brand new sponsor. We appreciate them. Also, good morning to Southern Union State Community College, Wadley, Opelika, and Valley. Anchor Roofing, Mr. Joey Knight. We appreciate Cody Yarborough at Southeast Soft Wash. In Roanoke, Alabama, Bama Diesel Repair, Mr. Mark Mitchell. Auction 431 South down in Phoenix City. They're doing online auctions now, so you might want to check that out. Also, this morning, we've got Shepherd's Fine Jewelry and Gifts in downtown Roanoke. BR Construction, Mr. Brandon Brown. Jimmy Stevens with Jimmy Stevens Construction. A brand new sponsor, Jamie Dukas of Alpha Insurance. You can check him out on Facebook. Also this morning, thanks to Remax Lakefront, Rick and Becky Rainwater. Brand new sponsor, talking brand spanking new sponsor, Neil Johnson with Superior Heating and Air Conditioning. We welcome Neil to our program, and as a supporter, you can get in touch with Neil at 334-460-331. Superior service for superior customers. You know it's about to get warm, so you might want to give him a call. Make sure that air conditioner is working. Rick and Becky Rainwater at Remax Lakefront. So we appreciate all these fine folks for making Dr. Don's weather page possible. So let's just go ahead and talk about what's going on this morning, folks. We have got a lot of rain coming across East Alabama, about to move into northwest Georgia. The heaviest rain right now is along and north of I-20, right on the Alabama-Georgia state line. And then just north of Gadsden, we have another very large, heavy area of rain as well. But if you'll notice on the radar, if you'll look there from about I-20 at Center Point, and then down to just west of Talladega, just east of Vincent, then on down to around Sylacauga into Weguffka, that is a line of very gusty wind. Let me turn the telestrator on right quick, and that line right there. And that line is moving pretty rapidly off to the east this morning. Nothing severe along this line, though we have had multiple, or I have seen multiple reports on social media of trees down here and there, some trees on power lines, and just very gusty winds. One trained spotter back in the East Birmingham area reported wind gust of around 50 miles per hour when this line came through that area about 15 or 20 minutes ago. So just to give you a heads up on that, if it stays together, then it will be just a few minutes. Everything I'm seeing says that it lasts for about 10 minutes when it comes through, and we're talking wind gust of up to about 50 miles per hour along that line, but you can see it's not very wide. So the National Weather Service so far is just issuing special weather statements for this line of storms, nothing severe. When this line moved through West Alabama about an hour ago, there are also reports over there as well of trees across many county roads. Now, I think the line may have been a little bit stronger when it was over in West Alabama about an hour and a half ago. But nonetheless, and if this line holds together, makes it into East Alabama, and it's almost in Sylacauga, so it's almost there, just know that you may get some pretty gusty winds there for about 10 minutes. All right, so other than that, we don't have any problems in East Alabama this morning other than this heavy rain up here on I-20. Birmingham to Atlanta, not a good ride at all this morning. So you wouldn't want to do that if you don't have to. And then we got some scattered pockets of heavier rain showers down in Chambers County, also in Tallapoosa, northern Randolph, a couple spots there in Clay County. And then we have that little narrow line that I was just talking about that we'll keep an eye on as it moves off to the east. So the severe weather, though, this morning is down in southern Alabama, and that's where we think the severe weather will stay this morning. That may change this afternoon across East Alabama and West Georgia, but for the morning hours, we think the severe threat, we know the severe threat is greatest down in South Alabama. Just drinking some of that Black Rifle coffee. Good stuff. So here we go. We have a severe thunderstorm warning down here in southwest Alabama. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Butler County in south central Alabama, Monroe County in south central Alabama, northwestern Clark County, Wilcox County, and north central Conecuh County. And this warning goes until 6:45. We did have a tornado warning with this line of storms, but the National Weather Service canceled the tornado warning, I don't know, probably 15 minutes or so ago. This storm will be in Yellow Bluff in about a minute or so, Beatrice in about 29 minutes, Oak Hill in about 29 minutes, and Pineapple in about 37 minutes, if you are familiar with this area of the state of Alabama. And most of you are, because you go to Gulf Shores all the time. You go right down I-65. So, and there are several football teams in East Alabama that play teams from this part of the state. So very familiar with this part of Alabama. And then we have another severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be down here closer to Mobile. And this is still over in Mississippi, near Wiggins, Mississippi. And you can see how this is a kind of a singular storm out there by itself. And that's what we're going to be watching for in South Alabama today. But this storm is going to run to the northeast. It'll go north of Mobile, real close to Centinel, and then real close to Atmore and cross I-65 somewhere just north of Atmore in an hour or so. So that's just kind of a quick view of what's happening down in South Alabama. Basically from, let me turn the telestrator back on. Basically, we are talking, something like so. This is the area of the highest threat. Now, up here, maybe along I-85, maybe a little bit north of there. We'll have to watch some of these storms that come up out of southwest Alabama to see if they hang on to their severe levels as they get up into the southern part of East Alabama, but I don't think so. I think this is probably what we're looking at as far as tornadoes are concerned. Now, we certainly could see a heavy thunderstorm up here in East Alabama this morning. We could have some gusty winds. We know we have that very narrow line moving across Alabama now. So, but south of that flashing line there is going to be the greatest risk area. for tornado activity this morning. That will change this afternoon. We have a warm front that's draped across southwest Alabama that is moving to the northeast. And once that warm front gets past you, then you will be in the more conducive area for severe weather later today and this afternoon. Now, I say that, and then I'm going to say this. So what happens this afternoon is 100% conditional based on what that warm front does. If that warm front doesn't make it north of East Alabama and you stay on the north side of that warm front, then the threat of severe weather will not be very significant for East Alabama this afternoon. However, if that warm front makes it on up here to around I-20 or gets on up to the Alabama-Tennessee line, by 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon, then you're going to be on the south side of the warm front, and then the chance of severe weather will be significantly higher as the cold front comes in later on this afternoon. So we're really watching the national maps to see what that warm front does. That's going to tell the story. The proof is in the warm front, not the pudding this morning. So we're going to be watching that. All right, so that's kind of an update on where we are right now. We do have a tornado watch for South Alabama. That tornado watch goes out until noon, I think. And so we'll keep an eye on those storms down there in southwest Alabama. If any of them get close to East Alabama or Central Alabama, of course, we'll come back and give you live coverage on that. We're also going to watch this very narrow line of gusty winds moving into East Alabama. You folks in Clay County will get some of that first. If you're down there in southwest Clay, it's probably already getting a little bit gusty. So I'd be real interested in knowing what this line does when it passes your location. So send me a messenger or make a comment on Facebook and let me know what you experience when this little small line moves through. So let's go up to the chat board, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, now's a good time to do it. Let's see who all we got in here this morning. Nelda Smith, good morning to you, Nelda. Susan Lashley McGill is in here. Good morning, Susan. Good to see you, April. Thank you for stopping by this morning. Teresa's in here. Good morning, Miss Cecilia down there in Northwest Chambers County. Nice to have you with us. Valerie's in the room. Good morning, Pamela. Good morning, Lynn from Savannah, Georgia. Cool. That is my most favorite place on the face of this earth. And we have a conference down there every year in April. And that is producer Tracy and myself. We get to go down there and hang out with all the folks we work with, and right there at the convention center on the Savannah River, and it's just a lot of fun. Well, this mess called COVID-19 killed it this year. We didn't get to have our conference, and understandably so. We do the conference. It's the Emergency Management Agency along with the Department of Public Health. We all go together and have one big, huge conference for 3 or 4 days. Had to cancel it this year because of COVID-19. Not real happy about that. Because, the Crab Shack has a table with my name on it. Out on Tybee Island. Good morning, Misty. New York. Seriously. Well, good morning, New York. I would say the weather's probably a little bit different in New York. New York's a favorite spot of mine, too. First time I went to New York was in the 96, 97, somewhere around there. So, you talking about country go to town. We stayed at a hotel on at Times Square. And, of course, the guys I went with, we were going up there to meet with some representatives from the state of Alabama to lobby for funding for emergency management in Alabama. And the guys that I went with had been to New York before. Well, Don, Rock Mill's about as far out of town I've been at that point. So we get to the hotel room, which is maybe about the size of a closet. And so I go back outside, and I'm like, my mouth is on the ground. It's just amazing. You see this Times Square on television all the time, and then you get to actually see it in person. It's crazy. So I'm standing on the corner looking at Times Square, and the first thing I was able to focus on and actually look at was a Wiley Sanders truck coming down the road in Times Square. And I'm like, I come all the way up here, New York City, and there comes a truck from Troy, Alabama. Crazy. I just thought that was kind of cool. Let's see here. Ruth Earl's in the house. Good morning, Ruth Earl. Kelly's watching us in Woodland. Good morning, Jordan. Jimmy's in the house. You're welcome, Jimmy. Good morning, Eddie. And Matt says, of course, he's up and watching Dr. Don this morning. Good deal. Catherine, good morning. Let's see here. Patricia, good morning from Roanoke, Alabama. I just might know where that's at. Beulah, Alabama up in the house. Good morning, Brenda. Joshua's in here from, it doesn't say where he's from. Downtown Rock Mills. That's what I'm talking about. We not out in the burbs. We right squared in the middle of downtown. Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Ricky. Drew. Good morning, Drew. Yeah, it is raining in Heflin, Alabama. I'm talking about it is coming a good one. Good one. Let's go up there and take a look at that. There you go. There's Heflin, and all that red right there just came through Heflin, and that's moving on off to the east, northeast. Some darker reds up there just north of I-20, just across the state line in Georgia. But that is very heavy rainfall, and you got more back off to your west that'll be rotating through later this morning. Again, if you're just joining us, we're not really looking at anything severe this morning. With the exception, we do have one little very narrow line of storms here that has caused some damage back over in central and west Alabama with blowing some trees over. But it's not tornadic. It's just straight line. It is straight line winds. I don't mean to say it's just straight line winds because straight line winds can cause just as much damage as small tornadoes. So, gotta respect it. Ashland, Alabama. Good morning, Miss Virginia. There's my buddy Bruce over on the West Bank in Wadley. Ephesus, Georgia. Jeanette, thank you. Well, there is my there's my buddy Lisa down there in Prattville, Alabama. Just lightning, thunder, and dripples here in downtown Prattville. Dripples. That is a new weather term. I will have to put that in the book. Dripples. Linda Armstrong is in here this morning from beautiful Lake Wedowee. Thank you, Linda. 5 Points, Alabama. Good morning, Jason. Ross is watching us this morning from North Alabama, up there in Decatur. Just raining and windy up in Decatur. Roanoke, just some rain right now, and we do have that line of thunderstorms that I've been talking about here for the last 15 or 20 minutes. That it's moving to the east, but I tell you, it doesn't look as strong as it did when we went on just a few moments ago. But that will move through all of East Alabama and West Georgia, and that includes Roanoke. So that's moving off to the east. So in the next 15, 20, 30 minutes or so, maybe 45 minutes, it's not moving as fast as it was either. You're going to get a little wind. And actually, that little line is breaking up, which stands to reason because we've got a cool pocket of air over East Alabama and most of North Georgia, which is exactly what happened last time. And so that will keep the thunderstorms at bay this morning. But then as that warm front moves up from the south, things will change, and this afternoon we could have some severe weather. So Roanoke's good right now. You're just going to have some rain this morning, and it's going to be windy because when we get that gradient tightened up between the warm front and the cold front that's coming in out of the west, then winds are going to be pretty gusty, maybe up to 30, 35 miles per hour, and that has nothing to do with the thunderstorms. That'll be completely removed from the thunderstorms. So we'll have to keep an eye on that today, too. Misty says the thunder rolls. Good morning from Roanoke. Yeah, you'll have a little thunder and maybe a little thunder and lightning this morning, too, especially where it's raining the heaviest, because the friction between the rain droplets is what causes lightning. Tawana's got us going on up in Woodland this morning. I hope all y'all got your coffee going. Let's see here. We got a special weather statement. Come on. There we go. Significant weather advisory now in effect for Lowndes and southeastern Dallas County until 7 a.m. this morning. At 6:17, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm near Danley Reservoir, 14 miles northeast of Camden, moving to the east at around 55 miles per hour. Winds in excess of 40 miles per hour will be possible with this storm. Locations in the path of this storm include Fort Deposit, Haneyville. You folks from Hanley remember Haneyville, I'm sure. Some of us do anyway. Whitehall, Gordonville, Oroville, Lounsboro, Benton, Old Cahaba Park, Lowndes County Airport. Let's see here. Dallas Lake. So that's a significant weather advisory down here in this area right here. And that's going to be the north end of this line. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. It remains in effect until 6:45 for Butler, Monroe, Clark, Wilcox, and Conecuh County. And so just to the north of that, up there, from Selma, basically, back down to where the severe thunderstorm warning starts, they're issuing a significant weather advisory. All right, there's another Prattville viewer. Good morning, everybody in my original hometown of Prattville. 1980 graduate of Prattville High School. Go Lions. Let's see here. Hey, Wanda. Wanda is in Woodland. Mike is talking about some thunder in Woodland, Alabama. Let's go. Turn the thunder on. See if we can get it loaded up. It may take just a few moments. Well, Lisa says it's getting a little gusty down in Prattville. You better land that broom then. I don't want you to get caught up in a gust. Mess stuff up. Good morning, April. Good morning, Kenny. Thundering in Wadley. Casita. Good morning, Paula. Nice to have you in here with us. Good morning, Wendy. Jennifer's watching us in Camilla, Georgia. Thank you. Good morning, Kristen. Good morning, Kathy. Tiny has us going on in Newell. Good morning, sir. Thanks, Susan. I appreciate the kind words. Greg's got us going on in Ashland. Good morning, Tallapoosa, Georgia. Baron, nice to have you with us. The county line. Thank you, Miss Jane. That'd be the Randolph County, Chambers County line. Good morning, Amanda. Lynette, Alabama's in the house. Carmen, nice to have you with us. Yeah, I love some Savannah, Georgia, Amanda. We'd love to go down there and do the... Though they're a little bit corny, it's a lot of fun. We're talking about the ghost tours. It's just a lot of fun. If you've never been to Savannah, Georgia, and gone on a ghost tour, you need to go. It's pretty cool stuff. So we got a power outage in Ashland this morning. Huh. I'd be interested in knowing if that's from when. So if anybody's in the Ashland area that's lost power that can report as to why, I'd like to know about it. Well, there's little Shelby. He finally learned how to check and see if we were live instead of calling on the phone and blowing up my phone while I'm trying to talk to everybody. He's learning. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy rain, a lot of heavy precipitation over East Alabama, and that is where all of the lightning is coming from. Let me just see if I can. May take just a minute for that to load up. Lake Harding in the house. Good morning, Scott. Nice to have you with us. Good morning, Lisa and Lynette. Good morning, Bree. Hey, Shelby. Wanda's got us going on in Ashland, Dadeville, Alabama. And Lorraine England's up in the house. All is well now. Tiffany's got us going on in Ashland. Carrollton, good morning, Leanne. Jerry's got us going on in Florida. Good morning to you. Nice to have you with us from the Sunshine State. Nicole's watching from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn, War Eagle. Heather's got us going on in Selma. Good morning from Casita. Becky, thank you for joining us. Wadley, Alabama, there's Sherry. Teresa's got us going on in Roanoke. Raining hard and strong winds in Prattville. Power is out on County Road 12 in Wadley. Thank you, Sherry, for that report. Power's out on Crooked Creek Circle in Lineville. Thank you, Mark. Power is out in Gibsonville. Thank you, Kevin. Nate says he graduated in 99. You're just a baby. Let's see. We got Waverly, Alabama in the house. Valley, Alabama. There's old Pat Truitt. Get up and get on up there and straighten that Roanoke this morning. We got Lafayette. Rhonda's watching us this morning. Good morning, Miss Rhonda. Valley, Alabama. Broughton Ridge up in the house. Dalton. I see Dalton. I did see Dalton. Dalton, Georgia. Good morning to you, Dalton, Georgia. I'm not far from you. I'm just to your east and over the mountain. Midland, Georgia. LaGrange. Albany. Gainesville. Hey, Gainesville. I'm certainly not far from you. Look to your north. You see the mountain with the 3 towers on the top? That would be me. Walk a mountain. Franklin, Georgia. Power out in the Corinth community. Thunder and lightning in Valley. Power out in Wadley. Coosa County. Good morning. Good morning, Nancy. There's another Albany. Notasulga, Alabama. You ain't nothing if you ain't from Notasulga. I better be careful. I'll make my Rock Mills folks jealous if I say that too loud. Phoenix City, Buchanan, Georgia, Bowden, Georgia. Yeah, I got the music on, Nancy. It's just turned down. All right, so, yeah, for some reason I'm having trouble with the, and I'll fix that before we come back. But let me go back over here to the, there we go. And again, folks, this is just a quick update this morning. No severe weather expected across East Alabama or West Georgia this morning. All of that may change this afternoon. It just depends on how far north the warm front makes it before the cold front comes in. Just like last week, the week before, we have a warm front coming north off the Gulf of Mexico. We have a cold front moving from west to east. And if the warm front makes it far enough north before the cold front sweeps in, then we could have some severe weather this afternoon. And I'm thinking mid to late afternoon for East Alabama and West Georgia. This morning, copious amounts of rain, gusty winds. As that cold front gets a little bit closer to the warm front, the gradient's going to tighten up, and we're going to have very strong gusty winds that have nothing to do with thunderstorms. And we're talking 25 to 30 mile per hour winds. So it's going to be a windy day. The rain's probably going to last for at least another couple of hours across East Alabama and West Georgia. Then we're probably going to have a lull in the action, and then maybe a few scattered showers and maybe a few scattered thunderstorms from time to time. And then we'll have that cold front come through this afternoon or early evening, and that's where the main show will most likely be for East Alabama and West Georgia. Now, South Alabama is under the gun this morning. So if you're having to travel down south. Be careful if you're going to be going much further south than a Demopolis to Auburn line, because there could be some tornadic. We've already had a couple of tornado warnings down there this morning. Now, one other thing I want to bring to your attention before we wrap up this update this morning. Let me turn the telestrator back on. You see these real dark areas? That's what's left of a gust front that was coming across central Alabama that caused a little damage back over in West Alabama this morning. So as those areas move into your area, now we're talking, it's just moved through Alexander City. I'm looking at the board to see if we've got anybody in Alex City on the board with us this morning. If you're there, kind of let us know what that was like when it came through Alexander City. And a couple little pockets of heavier rain, probably containing some wind over there in West Chambers as well. And that's going to continue to move off to the east. But other than that, other than some wind and very heavy rainfall, we're not looking at tornadoes. We're not looking at hail across East Alabama or West Georgia this morning. But again, that could change by this afternoon. So it's a great day to stay weather aware. Have yourself a plan. Know what you're going to do and where you're going to go and how all that's going to work in the event that a severe weather warning is issued for your area. And folks, understand something here, especially in the setup like we have right now. Pay attention to severe thunderstorm warnings just as much as tornado warnings, because you certainly could have just as much damage from straight-line winds as tornadoes. So if a severe thunderstorm warning is issued for your area, you want to pay attention to it and go to a safe place just as if it were a tornado warning. Know where that's going to be. That's the key. Know where it's going to be before it happens. In your home, you want to be on the lowest floor, in the center of that floor, away from exterior walls and windows. Make sure you have items with you to cover yourself and protect yourself from flying debris. If you're in a mobile home, you need to have a place to evacuate to. Somewhere other than that mobile home. There is not a safe place in a mobile home. I'm going to check the board just one more quick time, and then we're going to wrap up this update. But we'll be watching it, and we'll come back as needed. We're coming up on 6:35 Central on your Thursday morning. Ozark, you need to be paying attention to what's going on this morning as well as this afternoon. There is a slight risk of severe weather in your area this morning, a better risk for severe weather this afternoon down in the Ozark area. Sadie's got us going on in Ashland. Rain and thunder in Alexander City. Okay, Donald, thank you for that report. The rain, you should have had one area that was really heavy that's probably already moved through and should have slacked up just a little bit now. Tin Shop in the house. Yeah, so good move on getting the weather radio. Everybody needs a weather radio. Everybody. And if you don't have one, get one. If you need help programming it, just send me a message and I'll be more than happy to help you get it programmed. Just rain and thunder so far at Alexander City. Okay, that's good. Fort Payne, just rained this morning. Let's go up there and take a look at Fort Payne. Yeah, just rain this morning. This afternoon, it's going to depend on how far north that warm front goes. It probably isn't going to make it to Fort Payne before the cold front comes in. But we're just going to have to wait and see. There's still a fair amount of uncertainty on exactly how far north the warm front's going to go. Thank you, Mike. Luana Road. Thanks, Jamie. And Roxanne. All right, folks. So this has been a relatively, for me anyway, a relatively quick update. It's less than an hour, so it's quick for me. An update for you this morning. Again, no severe weather across East Alabama and in West Georgia right now. None expected this morning. This afternoon could be a different story. If you are traveling this morning, and if you're going south into South Alabama or South Georgia, anywhere south of a line from Demopolis to about Auburn over to around maybe Macon, know that there is a risk of severe weather this morning as well as again this afternoon. And of course, I'll be posting on Facebook, and I will come back and give you live coverage as needed as we go throughout the day on Dr. Don's weather page. Thanks for joining us.